Grand Theft Auto series made its first debut into the magical realm of the third dimension, I have been a fan of the series. For all its faults, endless escort missions, arbitrary gameplay lengthening, and occasionally broken design, I can say that the series has brought me more hours of entertainment than any other video game series on Earth. So at the time of this recording, Grand Theft Auto 5 has just been released, exploding onto the consumer market like some sort of cash-hungry gorilla, taking with it over $1 billion in profits in just 3 days. If Grand Theft Auto 5 was a natural disaster, it would have already consumed more than its fair share of suburbs. And with the anticipated GTA Online release, it's bound to give it another strong boost in sales. So you would assume that I, being such a fan of the series, would have already purchased, played, beat, and formulated an opinion of the new game, an opinion which I would be sharing with you momentarily. Nope, I'm broke, and I can't afford new video games. So let's talk about Grand Theft Auto San Andreas instead. Oh man, that music takes me back. Grand Theft Auto San Andreas takes place in 1992. The United States is crawling its way out of a recession, grunge bands are in, hair bands are out, George H.W. Bush is in office, and Nikolai Bellic is busy suffering his way through a terrible childhood in the Yugoslav wars. It's here that we find our protagonist, Carl Johnson, better known as CJ, returning to the state of San Andreas to bury his recently murdered mother after 5 years of slacking off on the East Coast. Upon arrival, he's quickly informed by his brother, Sweet, that
this shit's real fucked up. Everything.
What you mean?
What, apart from your mother being dead? Things are going real bad. Here, let me show you, Running Man. Tony's buried over there. Little Devil over there. And Big Devil over there. Man, it's just crazy. Everybody blasts on food first, then asks questions second.
It would seem that in Carl's 5-year absence, things have not been going well for his old gang, the Grove Street Families. Having been one of the biggest sets in Los Santos, GCF is now down to only a handful of loyal members, struggling to survive on the streets. In addition to all of that, CJ also has to contend with one of the greatest villains ever conceived.
Welcome home, Carl. Glad to be back. You haven't forgotten about us, have you, boy?
Hell no, Officer Tenpenny. I was just wondering what took y'all so long.
Officer Tenpenny and his right-hand man, Officer Pulaski, are the leaders of Crash, a police division tasked with curtailing gang violence in Los Santos. Of course, in actuality, they are immensely corrupt individuals who use their power over the street gangs to push drugs, make money, and rule the streets with an iron fist.
Where you running off to, Carl? I thought we were friends.
Yeah, whatever.
As an officer in charge of putting an end to gang violence, I find myself in a difficult moral position, Carl.
Yeah, right.
Carl, I'm hurt. I truly am. And just as I was...
That voice sound familiar? It had better. That voice belongs to none other than Samuel L. Jackson. That's right, the baddest of all badasses is the main antagonist of this game. Intimidated? You damn well better be.
Getting a little edgy, fellas?
Oh, how you like that, you piece of shit? That give you any idea how edgy I am? Whoa! Get up, bitch!
And thus begins CJ's criminal ascent from a poor low-life gangbanger in the hood to a wealthy and powerful gangbanger in the hood. But I mean, who really cares about the plot? I mean, after all, what are we here for? To fuck around, of course.
Home of the $1 million bills. You'd think we'd be smart enough to find a better way to control the masses. But yet somehow sales still increase, selling themselves out for $1 million apiece. They have champions, thanks for intelligence. We kiss the fat white corporate asses. Ah!
As usual, the Grand Theft Auto 3D engine does its job perfectly, keeping the vehicle and pedestrian movement reliable and fluid. It's always cartoonishly destructive and unrealistic, but in a smooth, predictable way. The main thing I can emphasize here is consistency. The game never loses its feel, and vehicle movement in particular feels dynamic and reactive. It's hard to put in words just how much I love the game engine. Big vehicles feel big, small vehicles feel small, and if you fuck up and destroy the car, that's totally on you, man.
Oh, what you doing, my wheel?
And once you're done stealing everybody's car and wrapping it off the scenery, it's time to settle into the story missions. As usual, Rockstar delivers a plethora of ridiculousness, including everything from murdering gang members, racing go-karts, using a sky crane to steal an armored truck, driving around with a guy strapped to your hood,
Hey, what you doing?
encountering a really devoted stripper,
You want me to blast you?
killing your way into a military base with a minigun, then stealing a jetpack from said military base,
Personnel outside and fire at will. Take him out. That's a $60 million project.
catching a drunk guy,
Hey, he's going to be pavement pizza.
pulling off a casino heist,
Okay, people, load up the cash.
racing a monster truck. Wait, sex dungeon? What? Why am I in a gimp suit? And of course, participating in a riot. Sometime in some month 1992, there was a riot in Los Santos. Tell me, where were you? You were sitting home watching your TV while Kyle was participating in some anarchy. Although Grand Theft Auto San Andreas does have some pretty silly moments, it never feels forced. The game does a great job of leading you through a variety of environments, dynamic characters, different gameplay modes, and epic set pieces, all while maintaining a consistent narrative that keeps you involved in the game. I genuinely become attached to CJ and his crew by the end of the game, despite how silly and ridiculous they can be. Now, that's not to say that this game doesn't have its faults. First off, the game has some serious difficulty curve wonkiness that leaves you reattempting just a handful of random missions over and over again, all the while plowing through the rest as if they were a walk in the park. This isn't helped either when you consistently fail a mission because an essential AI partner gets killed for the umpteenth time because apparently taking cover and avoiding traffic isn't something you learned growing up on the streets. Ironically. Secondly, although the minigames and submissions give Grand Theft Auto San Andreas really good replay value, forcing us to play some of these side missions and minigames in order to continue the main story is bullshit gameplay lengthening, such as making me play what I like to call Dance Dance Lowrider. The worst offender of all, of course, is the driving school challenges. Because, well... Okay, I got this. I can do this. Yes! Nope. Okay. One more. No, come on. Shit. Okay, let's try this again. Yes! No, that wasn't even close. Okay. That looked painful. Alright. I got this. I got this. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. It's gonna work. What? No, son of a... And while, for the most part, the voice acting is fantastic, on occasion there is dialogue so poorly delivered it makes me want to hurl a condenser microphone at the casting director and strangle the talent with an XLR cable until he stops sucking so goddamn much.
Do you know who you're fucking with here? I'll have your badge, you moron.
Shut up! You find anything back there? Found anything? He's got half of Mexico in here.
Must be 2 tons of Mary here.
What? But I've never seen. How could it be?
Hell of a defense you got there, buddy.
Speaking of voice acting, I will also mention that, although I personally enjoy most of the voice work in this game, my girlfriend, who grew up in a low-income neighborhood full of wannabe gang members, couldn't stand the ghetto-styled banter. According to her, the dialogue is actually pretty accurate, to an unfortunate degree, and that even if it's possibly being delivered ironically, it still reminds her too much of home and the reasons why she left. She actually loves the game as well, but can only play the story missions on mute. Which is to say she is a gangster enough to roll with Grove Street! Neither am I. I probably should also comment on the whole hot coffee controversy surrounding the game. You know, when some guy named Patrick W. released a mod that allows you to enjoy a really mediocre sexy time minigame with your in-game girlfriend, and then a bunch of stuffy politicians attempted to get the game banned, apparently not understanding that a mod was something that was not endorsed nor made available by the original company, but a third-party add-on that's installation was entirely dependent upon the individual user, and then the ESRB changed the rating of the original game to adults only, effectively banning it from retail stores, forcing Rockstar to release a version of the game that prevented modification and attempted to recall blah 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 blah. God of War, released 1 year later, had sex in it, wasn't banned. The Sims, released 4 years prior, had sex in it as well, wasn't banned either. Is our government stupid? Very yes. But does anybody really care about this sort of thing anymore? No? That's what I thought. Out of all of Grand Theft Auto 3's runty little children, I probably love Grand Theft Auto San Andreas the most. Its characters are likable, it's immersive, it is arguably one of the better stories in the Grand Theft Auto universe, but most of all, it's fun. From stealing cars, to flying a military jet, to murdering gangbangers and getting fat and taking off all your clothes, and even just driving around and listening to talk radio, this game has hours of entertainment, even after you complete the main story. I love it, everyone else loves it, and if you personally don't like this video game, well then you're not allowed to have an opinion on anything ever again, because, as Carl so eloquently states,
You an asshole to the end. Punk motherfucker.